okay, is going to be coming from the kings that have fallen under the power and authority of Rome. Okay, so what we're seeing happening here in the 8th century is what I consider the final evolution of the Church of Rome into what we know it as today. The Church of Satan coming to its fullness of power. And it remains in that fullness of power right up through until we get to the Protestant movement that's going to sweep Europe several hundred years later. They still wield a lot of power, but not like what they did. And eventually they have to change tactics and try to fit in and blend in and not be so military. But they never retract any of their way of doing things. They just kind of lay it aside for a while. Now, during this time frame, the people that they're dealing with, again, as they always do, they have named these groups of people. The ones that you're going to run into most commonly at this time, or you're still going to have a lot of folks that are referred to by them as Donatists. We had talked about those earlier, back 2nd, 3rd century. Well, now we're going to have Palacians. Those like the Frieslanders are referred to this because of their adherence to Pauline doctrine. Okay, you had very strong in the areas of like Armenia, in Eastern Europe, and so forth. The other two groups that you're going to start hearing about in this time frame that they have named the Roman Catholic Church are Paterins and Cathari. And again, these are folks that you're going to find all throughout northern and central Europe in different areas, and they get named these things in different areas here, but they're all collectively going to be referred to by the Church of Rome as Anabaptists. Right? So these are our ancestors, if you will. And again, the roots can be traced all the way right back to Antioch with this. And if you follow the movement of the gospel of Jesus Christ coming out of Antioch, you're going to find it goes around Rome completely when you're coming into Europe and the spreading of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Now, next week, where we're going to be going into is how Rome responds to Boniface's requests and what it ends up establishing a pattern of how the Church of Rome from this point on goes about evangelizing. You're going to have several different kings involved, but two that are going to be the most significant are Charles Martell, and he lives from 688 to 741, and then his son after that, Charles the Great. Some refer to Charles the Great, Charles the First, or Charlemagne from 748 to 814. Charlemagne is the first European king who is going to be crowned as the emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. So now Rome has come full circle back to, but now they're, instead of being a socio-political empire as we knew the Roman Empire as, the Holy Roman Empire now sets itself up as the ecclesiastical ruling power throughout Europe. Okay, and the first emperor being Charlemagne. Okay, you'll have Napoleon. His his attempt to reestablish the Holy Roman Empire and has himself crowned as the Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, the Second Reich or Second Reign. Adolf Hitler, with the approval of the Pope, attempts to do the same thing. The Third Reich, you'll hear them refer to that. That's what it's talking about, the Third Reich, the third reign of the Holy Roman Empire. Adolf Hitler and all his buddies were all a bunch of good Catholic boys. So that's what we're going to see here as we go along. And we'll start coming into that next week, because from this point forward, now we are going to have persecution on a level not seen since the Roman Empire, but even that goes incredibly beyond this for another 800 years, of where you're going to have armies being sent out to hunt down and to destroy Bible-believing Christians. So now we're going to, and this is all coming under the authority, guidance of the Church of Rome. And they're always thinking, oh, well, like, no, you're no different than you are today, okay? You are a wolf in sheep's clothing. And we can't let them fool us on any of that. But we're going to stop there for that this morning on that. And we will keep going, Lord willing, with that until we finish with the history of the Church of Jesus Christ goes right through the millennium. So that's where we'll be going when we finish all this up.